So I'm back with my other video. I don't remember the last thing that I mentioned. I accidentally stopped my part 2, so now I have a new part 2. I was saying that in order to be able to use the vacuum as just a canister, if you just wanted to pop it off as a canister, you have to take the whole cord off the vacuum, because part of the cord is on the wand and part of the cord is on the power unit. So if you want to take the vacuum somewhere and use the wand really quick, you've got to take the whole cord off. The only way you don't have to do that is if you're just using the handle by itself. So, and if you want to leave the power head, you have to take this whole thing off, including the cord. So that's kind of a pain. I believe I went over filters in the last video. Now I moved on to the dirt container. I was saying that it's quite small. This is my thumb. You can see it's a bit more room than what my thumb's size is. And it does flare out here towards the bottom. You can see it indents there in the back side of the bin. But it doesn't really hold all that much dirt. But the max fill line is all the way at the top of the vacuum. And I think that's what really shocks a lot of people when they get a Shark home. They're like, oh my gosh, I filled the bin. Well, the bin has a huge chunk missing out of it because of that filter. So, yeah, it's pretty easy to fill a bin on one of these, especially the speed models, which this one is. And the dirt inlet is at the bottom of the Cyclone. So all the dirt is already right coming in towards the filter screen rather than coming to the top. So most of the dirt, as soon as it comes in, just gets thrown right over this little hurdle in here where your dirt goes. It's kind of like a hopper. It's at the bottom. So now it has a better chance of getting stuck in the filter screen. And they knew that, which is why they put this black plastic piece there and then left the front open. Still, just little things like that that make me wonder, why. But they do it that way, so. And one other thing, my gasket right here is kind of wonky right here. I don't know what happened to it. It's been like this. I've only used the vacuum maybe a dozen times, not even, maybe 6 times. And that gasket, it still works. Everything's still fine on it. But I don't know why that did that. The attachment that my specific model came with was the under appliance wand, which I think I mentioned in the other video. And it came with an upholstery tool. It came with the dusting genie, which is not the floor duster. It is just a crevice tool with a brush that slides down towards the end. And it came with a turbo brush. Now, I love Shark's turbo brushes. They work very well. They do not slow down. I like the fingertip controls, even on this model, where you can set it to medium pile carpet, which opens air vents on the sides of the handle. You can slow down so it's less aggressive. And I accidentally left the vacuum on that mode the first time I used the power tool. And I was like, oh yeah, this thing works really good, But then I realized, oh my goodness. When I popped the hose back onto the vacuum and started vacuuming, I was like, I don't have the suction all the way on to vacuum carpets. I was like, and I didn't have it on to use the turbo tool. So I popped the turbo tool back on with full suction power. That thing is powerful. That is probably the only substitute non-little mini motorized tool I will actually use and say it does a good job. So I really enjoy that. And it... the other thing that I want to mention really quick before I do a demo is the handle on the speed model. I don't know if it's just the speed model or all speed models. I guess I have to detach everything. With my other my other powered liftaway, you can't do this. You can't do that. It will not work. It is not a function that's available. You can see the extra length plastic here that is on the speed model that the full-size model does not have. It ends right about here. The reason why is because the powered liftaway, the full-size model, has just a stubby little neck that the tools go on, whereas this one is substantially larger. I would say on the powered liftaway, the full-size model, that's about where it ends, right here at the bottom of the brown. So it can't slide down that far, plus it's not even shaped to anyway. It's a whole different connection. So I like that about this vacuum. Because I can pop it into my car because the power nozzle's smaller on this one. And I can take it on the mattress. I can hit like a office chair that the cats like to sit on. I can do steps with it so much quicker than having to use a a mini power head that is air driven, even though, like I said, this one has a pretty decent air driven tool. And it's smart that they put the cord on the left side of the vacuum along with the hose. That way you don't have to worry about the hose being on this side like on my Hoover React that I had, and the cord on that side, trying to make sure that nothing's in the way. That was the biggest problem I had with that vacuum. It was a dumb design that they did, especially because the hose was so short as it was. So, I have the pile. I guess I better move up a little bit more. Right here. And we'll do that first. If it spits stuff out the front, I wouldn't be surprised. It makes sense as to why it would do it, so I'm not going to judge. Because it is a pretty big pile. So I'm going to put it on the low pile carpet, which is the most suction. It doesn't have any air inlets open. So we'll see how good this does. I have yet to do a test like this on this vacuum. Okay, so I'd say it does a really good job. You can definitely tell the vacuum doesn't resist to go through. It did shoot some pieces out. I can't find them at the moment. It might have really... Oh, here's a piece somewhere. Right here's one. But otherwise, it got the majority up. It really did. There's a couple pieces here and there, but it got the pile. And if you're using this on bare floors, which is probably where you're going to spill most of the piles that are like that, you know, perfect, it's probably going to be on hardwood anyway. And then we'll move on to this too, and then I'll just do a regular vacuuming. One thing I do want to point out, if you're somebody that likes to leave their phone charger on the floor, or even because the vacuum has a cord itself, be very careful. I know some people get in the habit, oh, my vacuum cord's in the way while they're vacuuming, and they just kind of push it out of the way. That vacuum is designed to pull things in, larger objects. That thing will grab a cord faster than you'll even notice what happened. It has grabbed a sandal. This is an ugly Croc shoe, but it has grabbed a sandal before, tried to eat that. It constantly grabs the edge of that rug over there. So it is aggressive. So I would definitely recommend being careful and, you know, getting reused to a totally different vacuum cleaning sort of way, because this is not even just, oh, a brand new vacuum. This is a totally different design than most people have seen before. I don't know why that's not focusing. I hope it focused on my other one, but we'll do our best. This phone's just extremely heavy. This is my old phone. It's a BlackBerry Priv, but it does an exceptional job at recording videos, so I don't usually complain.